They tell you loyalty is everything. Give it away like it's free, and one day it'll come back to you. They don't tell you what happens when it doesn't. I was 50 when my life split into before and after. My name is Henry Walker. For 30 years, I ran a small repair shop on Elm Street. It wasn't glamorous, grease under the nails, honest customers, long Saturdays, but it fed my family and kept my pride intact. My best friend Tom had been with me since high school. We fought, laughed, bled together. When my wife had surgery, Tom was there to pick up the phone at midnight. When my boy Jamie was born, Tom cried like a fool. I trusted him more than I trusted myself. I thought that's what loyalty looked like. One spring, a developer approached us with a plan to convert the whole block. It was a chance to sell, take a payout, and finally give Jamie the college he deserved. We agreed to form a partnership. Equal shares, equal signatures. I remember the day we signed the papers. Tom grinned and slapped my back like nothing could go wrong. I went home that night with hope in my chest. I felt like a man who had done right by his family. A week later, the bank called. Our account was empty. Wire transfers, withdrawals, everything gone. Tom's number didn't connect. I drove to his apartment and found boxes, an empty place, and a note that said, "Don't look for me." He'd filed paperwork, put everything under his name, and vanished with the payout. He left me a stack of debts and a wife who needed quiet and care. He left my son a future ripped away. Anger does strange things. For months, I chased him like a dog with a scent. I barely slept. I'd stand outside his old neighborhood and watch people get into cars I once fixed. I imagined the look on his face when I caught him. That was my fuel. The idea of him waking up one morning with nothing, the same hollow feeling I had tasted, felt like justice. I wanted to hurt him the way he hurt me. But life isn't a movie with tidy endings. One day I saw him from across the street. Older, grayer, but he had a little girl on his hip and a woman holding his hand. Tom looked ordinary, not triumphant, like a man living a life he'd cobbled together. I followed him until he stopped at a corner park. The little girl ran ahead, laughing, and Tom watched her the way someone watches sunlight. In that instant, his face wasn't the face of the man who'd stolen from me. It was the face of a father. I felt the anger surge and then, some harder thing, soften. I could have exposed him. I could have burned his reputation, made him experience the same hunger I had. I had ways, old contacts, records, a memory of where he'd hidden things. I entertained revenge like a poison that promised relief. But as I pictured the little girl falling into tears, I realized vengeance would reach farther than him. It would touch hands that didn't know betrayal yet. It would be another wound, passed down. I'd become a man who injured children for the sake of my pride. So I chose a different kind of punishment. I walked away. I let the law take its course where it could. I paid what I could, and I worked harder. Nights were long, and there were moments I wanted to scream every truth into an empty room. But the hunger in me didn't go away because I had the chance to make him suffer. It only changed shape. It turned inward, into a bitter companion that sat with me at the kitchen table. Years later, Tom resurfaced in the papers, not for riches, but for trouble. His new partner had played him, too. Courts do balance themselves sometimes in strange, quiet ways, but his fall didn't fill the hollowness in me. When the court clerk handed me an envelope with a small settlement because of a technicality, I felt nothing but tired. The anger I had nursed for years had given me no peace. I'd wasted time that could have been spent building something else, not tearing someone down. I used to tell myself loyalty is a virtue. It is. But it's also a choice to be applied to people who deserve it. Blind loyalty is a liability. I learned to protect my heart, not to harden it into a weapon. I learned that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing a life that isn't justified by another's ruin. Sometimes, walking by the old shop, I see a new sign. A younger man fixing a dented bumper, his child asleep in the back seat. I smile and tip my hat. Maybe he'll trust the right people. Maybe he won't. If he does, great. If he doesn't, I hope he has the courage to walk away sooner than I did. Revenge promised to mend me. Instead, it taught me what I'd lost when I gave my peace to someone else's hands. Loyalty is precious. Reserve it for those who return it with honor. If someone betrays you, the best revenge isn't ruin. It's living well enough that their memory becomes a footnote, not a prison.